Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Great to see y'all on this call this morning. We've got folks from all around the globe. We've got folks from Germany, Austria. Sergey, hi from Moscow, excellent. Till from Germany, excellent. Jazinka, welcome. Jeffrey, we've got some U.S. customers here. From New York City, we've got folks from Washington State. Rick Adams, of course, from North Carolina and Phoenix. Till, welcome. It's just great seeing everyone here. I'd like to thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. My name is Amrit Maldonado, and I'm the Product Support Manager at Prolifics. Along with me, I'll have Glenn Silverberg, which will also be presenting. And oh, good morning, Daniel. I see Daniel's arrived also. Oh, we even see you. Hey, Daniel. Yeah, feel free to share. You know, you don't have to share your camera if you don't want to. No problem. All right. And who do we have here? This may be the first time you're seeing some of our customers' faces. Excellent. All right. Oh, wow. Yes. Hello there. I recognize that face. Hello, Joel. All righty. So anyways, thank you again for joining us. So the goal of our coffee series, our coffee hour series, is to just kind of update our customers on what the Panther team has been working on. We like to keep this to about 30 minutes or so, but we'll be here for the entire hour. So feel free to, you know, stay on. If you need us to answer more questions, we are available for you. All right. So let's go ahead. Next slide, please. Panther 5.53, folks. Yes, we will be releasing Panther 5.53 in January of next year, 2021. Now, a complete list of all fixes and new features will be sent to you later on today. But during this coffee hour series, we'll cover, Glenn Silverberg and myself will be covering a few of the features. As you can see on the slide here, we'll talk about our Kerberos network authentication protocol support. We'll talk about updates made to our migration utility, our Windows Team support, as well as updates to our COM integration. All right, next slide, please. And as far as questions, you know, I would say let's leave questions till the end. It's quite a short presentation, 4 or 5 slides between Glenn and myself, so we'll keep questions to the end if possible. All right, Kerberos support. Yes, so one of our Panther 5 customers, in fact, their team is on the call today. Anyway, they were mandated by their IT team to be able to support Kerberos for their Panther applications. So now Kerberos, as you know, is similar to single sign-on, where their Panther users of their Panther applications would need to be authenticated and securely connected to their Sybase database. So they were using the Sybase database using our Panther CT libraries. So when customers logged in, you know, the whole protocol had to follow Kerberos's rules. So what we did, we implemented support for Kerberos by adding these 3 arguments in their connection statement: network auth, server principal, and mechanism. So once this patch was installed, Panther application users were able to connect and be authenticated and securely connected to their Sybase database. So that's support for Kerberos authentication protocol. Next slide, please. Our migration utility, right? So our migration utility started off as a tool developed by one of our Panther consultants. And throughout the years, our Panther team has made updates to it, you know, while they were working on different migration projects with customers. And well, those of you guys who are not familiar with our migration utility, what does it do? It basically is a utility that actually came shipped with Panther 5.52. It's in the samples directory. But the utility basically takes your Gem and Panther screens and converts it to Bootstrap-based HTML templates. Now, it's not a magic potion here. Basically, it just gives you a great starting point to be able to convert those Gem and Panther screens to the web. It takes care of a lot of work that has to do with the UI part of it. So like I said, it's about 3.5 years old at this point. And so in this new release, what we've done is we have added support to better handle multiple screens with multiple grids. I've seen those Gem 5 screens, Gem 7 screens with crazy 4 or 5 different grids. So our utility better handles placement of those grids in your HTML templates. Another thing we've added is to be able to better support your validation functions of your screen. So those field validation functions in your screens get executed as AJAX requests. Again, in fact, you can access our migration utility off our GitHub page, or we can always send it to you, off our FTP site. All right, so let me turn it over to Glenn Silverberg, and he'll talk about a couple more features.
Hi, everybody. So the first feature I would like to talk about is kind of a big thing for us. Panther 5.53 is mostly a bug fix release. This is kind of a bigger change. It was done for a customer. We have a customer who asked specifically for a more modern look to option menus and combo boxes. And I think we've had customers in the past ask for, just in general, a more modern look to Panther, other things as well. This customer asked for just the option menus and combo boxes a few months back, and we decided we'd take another look into it. In the past, we probably had told people, it was going to be too big of a project. But we found that it wasn't a huge project. All we needed to do really was upgrade to use a later version of the Windows Common Control library. Once we do that, we get a lot of the changes to the built-in common controls. We get those for free, and they look very modern in terms of looking like common controls you will see in Windows 10. Not like UWP controls, if you know what universal Windows apps are in Windows 10. They don't look like those, but you still see a lot of common controls being used in current applications. Perhaps Microsoft hasn't fully upgraded. And what we did most recently is add foreground and background color support for push buttons. We actually added a more modern look to push buttons for this customer as well. And when we went back to them, or they came back to us and said, well, I had taken off the ability to use color support because when you have themes, it uses whatever colors are in the theme. So we went back and added color support. I showed some of this for the last coffee break, and I'll show it again. We've made some additional progress, and I'll show you that at the end. Next slide, please. So we also have a customer who asked for, they were trying to bring up Excel, or their application already opened Excel and used COM to send data from a Panther grid widget to an Excel spreadsheet. Somebody is not muted. Okay, so I'll just talk over that. So this customer found that it was taking, they had a lot of data in the Panther grid, and they found it was taking a couple of minutes to send all of the data to the Excel spreadsheet. And they asked if we could, if there's a way they could speed that up. They were sending basically one cell at a time, and when they tried to change their COM code, to send an entire range of data, it didn't work. So we added the ability to, it turns out that Excel wants to receive the data as a two-dimensional safe array if it's a range, and we didn't have, most cases Panther detects what data type it needs to send and it sends it. In this case, it didn't, and we needed to be able to send two-dimensional safe arrays to Excel. And we added a capability to do that with a kind of typecasting, if you will, for the data being sent, through our COM, the syntax of our COM, I should say, calls. We added some new syntax that allows you to do sort of a typecast to make a two-dimensional array of whatever type you might need, a beaster, a variant, and so forth. So we'll talk a little bit about this. I'll show you a little bit more about this right now, I guess. So I'm going to now share my screen. So if you notice I'm looking down, it's because I have two different, and you'll see two of me listed on the participant list. I have a different machine showing my camera. So this, what you're seeing now actually is the first thing I spoke about. The new version of Panther, it's actually a patch version of Panther 5.52, but this is basically a screen that we're using just as an example in test mode, and this is what it will look like in Panther 5.53. It's the exact same screen in the version of Panther at the bottom as the one on top, which is the old look, which is Panther 5.52 without the patches that I put in to modernize it. And you can see the old look has 3D buttons. The new one has these buttons. They highlight when you mouse over them. The single line text widgets are not 3D anymore, and they also highlight the whichever one has focus. They highlight in blue. Tabs look different. You can see these are the tabs. Options. Remember, I said the customer asked about option menus and combo boxes. You can see these are different. Let me try to bring up the same. So here's an option menu in the old one. Here's an option menu in the new one. This screen is just a loose screen. It's part of an application that I don't have the full application here. I'll also show you that we added the ability to change the colors. Even though themes kind of want you to force certain colors on things, our customers don't expect that. They have applications with colors for things, and we'll go into the editor here. And the most recent thing that we worked on was the ability to change. In fact, I'm going to minimize the old one, maximize the new one so that you can see in the editor. The editor also, you can see, looks different. We have all the flat buttons in the editor, and I can change. Well, first, I'll change the background color of this button, this OK button. I can make it say bright red, and I could make the foreground color say green. Well, that's a little hard to see. Maybe I don't like the basic colors don't really maybe look so good for button backgrounds. So let's say I want to change the background to an extended color. I don't have anything set up in my color map file, so I could just type in a color. Oops, typing on the wrong computer. So there's a sort of a lighter red that you can see against the, go back into test mode, against the and it highlights also in a very light red when I mouse over it. So that looks a little bit nicer, I think. Let me show you now the other thing that we've done. So this is a really cool feature. I'm really happy that we did this. I think customer screens might have to change a bit to make it, you know, maybe some positioning might need to change. But I think this is going to make a big difference in modernizing the look of applications. I'm going to show you next another screen which has the Excel, or does the Excel COM. COM is an old technology, but it's still really good for integration for legacy applications. And any Panther client, any edition of our Panther client can act as a COM client. For the COM server, you need our COM edition, but the COM client code you can do with anything. So I'm going to go into test mode here on this demo screen. And first we're going to populate this grid. It has 500 rows and 50 columns, so it's a lot of data. And it's going to take a few, maybe 10 seconds or so. There you go. You can see goes A through Z and then AA through AX. That's 50 columns, and it goes all the way to 500 rows. And now we're going to send it all to Excel. We're actually going to send one column at a time, so it'll be 50 COM calls instead of 2,500. It was 50 times 500 that it used to be if you wanted to send one cell at a time. And this will take a few seconds. And I'm running, I've installed Excel 2013 on this machine. This is a Windows 10 machine, as I said. There's still a desktop version of Microsoft Office that people use. If you use the desktop version, the spreadsheet is now open and populated. Somebody took over the presentation.
Oh, sorry, Glenn. Can you take it back, please?
But maybe my time was up.
No,
Probably it is.
wasn't.
I always go a little longer when we do an actual meeting rather than a practice one. So
that's okay. This is good stuff.
So you can see the spreadsheet open. It's Excel 2013, as I said. All the data was sent, and I'll just show you that. So it goes all the way to 500 rows and all the way to the 50th column. And this is just demo data. It's just the, you know, obviously each piece of data is just the cell. It tells you which cell it is, but it could be real data. This is just an example, an extreme example that, like I said, this example took several minutes. You saw it took less than a minute to run it with the new code with our new way to send entire columns at a time to Excel, but it's much faster. So with that, I think the main part of our presentation is over. So if anybody has any questions, we're now open for questions.
It could be questions about what you saw or just in general. We'd love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, I just want to, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. If you need bug fixes between now and, I know what we said our release was January, but you know, within a month of our release, we'll still get those fixes into Panther 5.53. Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to mention that.
Joel, did you have a question, Joel?
Oh yeah, I was looking for like a raise the hand thing, but I see there isn't one.
Go ahead.
This new Excel thing is definitely very apropos to me because I've got existing Java code that's doing all kinds of stuff with Excel. So the two questions are: A, are we going to get a nice little piece of sample code that go along with it? Would be number one, and number two, how does this new paradigm fit into the Panther Java integration piece?
I see. Okay. Well, first of all, the code behind it uses uses our standard syntax for accessing COM in JPL, and this example was given to us by the customer to show the problem. So I'm a little reluctant to show customers' code without asking first, and I think this customer is not in our online meeting this morning. So I'm a little reluctant to just give that out, but we can probably help you out with that, to show you an example of how this is being done, and if necessary,
I don't.
If they don't mind.
Yeah, Glenn, I don't need the I mean, I think one example of showing how to do 5 cells will suffice.
Yeah,
right. I think that,
actually, yeah. It's actually not, to use any COM control is not always so easy. They have to be well documented so that you can look at the different, so you can, you retrieve one object from another object, and then you have to know what the interface is in order to write your code properly to use it. Not all of them are well documented. The one for Excel, you probably could figure it out, but it is a little hairy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So, and what about like regardless and just obviously without knowing with 100% certainty, is there any reason why that should or should not work in the Java world of Panther?
Well, our syntax, and we have a special syntax that's built into JPL that allows you to more easily write the code to manipulate COM objects. But I think we have APIs that as well that you can use directly from since you can use them from C. I believe you can use them from Java as well. I think most of our APIs that are available that are listed, like SM COM create object or whatever it is. Yeah, I think they would be available from Java. But I'll get back to you on it.
My solutions have been ultimately, with a lot of the stuff. I mean, I've fully embraced the power of Java. Is just when you do certain things, it's night and day. You compare non-comparable JPL to Java on major type of implementations, and reusable code it's amazing.
Right. I think I should have said SM obj create, because we had an SM we had all the COM object functions many years back, and then we since we had other types of objects, we integrated all of it into a single API. SM obj something or other was the replacement set of APIs for working with objects. But yeah, I think our Java technology is pretty cool, and it's improved in even within the last 6 years or so. I think some of that again came from projects that we did where customers were using it, wanted to use it, and we made improvements. The ability to create Java objects without having to use the hook function technique, and the ability to, I think, work with more types of objects, with constructors and things. The ability to use Unicode strings in Java when your Panther is not using Unicode for field data. So yeah, there's a lot of capabilities that we've done in recent years that improve our ability to work with Java in Panther applications.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Joe.
Pleasure.
Any questions? Any other questions? All right. Well, like I said, I will email everyone on the call and give you guys a complete list of bug fixes and new features in Panther 5.53. And, you know, I mean, that isn't the list I'll send you may, you know, we'll add a few more, you know, before it releases, because, you know, we've got a few other fixes in our pipeline. All right, great. Well, thank you again, everyone. We will be having our next coffee series session, I would say early November. I'll reach out to everyone as it gets closer, and you know, if you guys open up your newsletters, we'll definitely be advertising in our monthly Panther newsletters, and we're looking at actually talking about bots, robotic process automation, bots driving your Panther application, your Panther client server, or your Panther web application. All right, well, thank you, everyone. Thank you, Glenn.
You're welcome.
Debbie,
Thanks, everybody.
yes, and have a wonderful evening, morning, good night. Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks, Amrith.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Glenn.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sam. Amherst.
You're welcome.
Thanks for watching our video. If you like the video, please press the like button. If you're viewing our content for the first time, please press the subscribe button. If you have any queries, either post them in the comment section or email us at support@prolifics.com.